Hi, this is VJ Antonelli. I'm coming at you from a hotel room in Texas. I work several jobs, and one of them is an event which travels, so wherever I go, it goes, and we just finished our show. So, moving on, the topic I would like to discuss, a topic where technology and society interact, and it presents many interesting challenges, consequences, and topics of conversation, is the development of web technology, so the internet, smartphones, applications, software that's used on smartphones, and gender relationships, particularly as it relates to not only dating, but also the attitude towards dating and I suppose the best way to phrase it would be the presence of sexist attitudes or misogynistic attitudes that have sort of taken a spike as the software and mobile technology have become more prevalent, but only in certain situations, which I find very interesting. See, in this age, mobile web technology and its development has made everything super accessible, and those attitudes of wanting things streamlined and ready to access are the new normal, as in the readings we discuss, where you hit a certain point in technology where you can't really just hit the reset button and go back to how it was before. We've become used to expecting certain services at a certain speed in a certain time. You know, you don't want to wait for the person at the drive-thru when the machine at the drive-thru can just do something faster, and you can't really go back from that. And that attitude has begun to apply to human dynamics as well. Like when you look at dating culture specifically and how the rise of mobile applications has transitioned this idea of courtship and dating culture into more necessarily of a hookup culture, and you see it across all age groups and breakdowns of society, and they're all categorized into different parts very easily. You have the Ashley Madisons of the internet, which cater to a very specific audience. You have the Grindr, which fits its specific demographic. You have sites like eHarmony and Match, which fits their own specific demographic, which are typically thought of as an older demographic, ones that are more settled, and ones that are using this new technology to try to fit an old method of courtship and are looking for that traditional relationship. And then you have the Tinders of the world, and that's where you really see the influence of the medium of this technology and how it works, and the idea of literally swiping a photograph of a person. You know, it's easier to order a date than it is to order food delivery these days. And now, again, in the readings, one of the topics that is brought up is the idea that you can never separate humans from the technology and technology from the humans. They both are influencing and changing each other. And that's very true here, because you can see how the availability and the accessibility, and even in some cases the impersonality that this technology offers, feeding back into the culture. In particular, a subsect topic to focus on here is how the anonymity afforded by this web technology has helped to coin and to bring more awareness to, but also feedback into, what's referred to as rape culture. And essentially, when you break down the power dynamic between men and women here, when you create situations where you can order a date the same way you order a pizza, it lends itself to allowing more misogynistic impulses to take over. And yes, it can definitely go the other way as well. Everything goes both ways, but for the purpose of narrowing down a topic for this particular project, I'm mainly going to focus on the male-female dynamic. Also because it is currently a hot-button issue in the news, and it was in the news for the past several years. If you look at, for example, a couple years back, the phenomenon of Gamergate, for example, where many female gamers were sent numerous death threats, threats of torture, threats of rape, in large part because there was no consequence to any behavior that happens under the anonymity of the internet. It's much easier to objectify a picture or an avatar than it is a person. However, once you do it enough, the actual people become much easier to objectify because you associate them so readily with that picture or with that avatar. And I think that it's a very interesting phenomenon to break down the type of vitriolic, hateful things that are said under the cover of anonymity, and if there can be or should be or even are any consequences to that, as was discussed with the seatbelt law, and how seatbelts keep being designed to disregard the more rebellious aspects of human nature. You know, if you build a seatbelt to protect someone and they die in a car accident because they don't want to put on their seatbelt, you're going to build the seatbelt that goes on them no matter what. They have no control over it. Is there a fail-safe for something like this, which is so, as of right now, dictated by human behavior? And if so, what is it? And those are some of the things that I would like to talk about. And that's all for tonight. And that was my first video blog. Bye.